heard enough.
This threatens all of us now.
She's right. We've got to fight together.
See, Darien, she'll tell ya. We can stop them.
If she's seen them, she knows better. Something killed a whole crew of hunters out in the wood. Tore them apart like dolls, insects.
Something like the creatures that attacked my fort, perhaps?
I told ya. All we gotta do is get him in range of these cannons, and then we blast them.
We don't even know what they are.
The destruction my dreams warned me of. And your greed and recklessness have brought them on us all!
You burning our village didn't help matters none.
It wasn't my clan that attacked you.
No difference. One ogre stinks as bad as the next.
I came to offer my clan's help. The White March has been our home for centuries. We'll defend it alongside you. Sound it anywhere in the White March, and 3 of my best warriors will be at your side. Your battles become ours.
What's your plan for dealing with them exactly?
That lake's notorious. Folk never come back from that. Oh.
You'll need all the help you can get. I have fewer men to offer than I would like, but the Iron Flail stands ready. Our siege weapons are at your disposal.
The same ones you threw at the battery's walls?
These eyeless will come for us all if they aren't stopped here and now.
Forget it. You're not bringing your army into our backyard. Tell him. Guess you're right. Won't be anything left of Stalwart if we don't stop these monsters anyway.
You know, those heavy cannons you fixed might come in handy. Hear me out. Kieran's Scar should be just in range for those guns. You just point out your target and I'll do the rest.
If those things are on the move, we don't have much time. If you're really gonna stop them, take this. It's the best of the ore we've pulled from Stalwart's mines. It's not much, but it's good enough to make the old Pargrunen smiths proud. I'm sorry about what I said before. Just don't take it out on the rest of the village.
No problem.
Aye?
Right here.
Lead the way.
Yes?
Eh?
I'm starting to think you didn't pay Galvino near enough for me.
Architect Worth and Rock!
Got it. Let's go!
Lavaru, be on seat! Lavaru, be on seat! Architect Worth and Rock!
There! Done! Would you look at...
Worth and Rock!
This
Why
won't
not?
stop me for long.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sneak up on you. I just... well, you seemed preoccupied. Mad old watchers, a cult on our trail. What's not to worry about? I suppose I've just noticed you acting a little, unusual lately. Talking to people who aren't there, remembering flashbacks of your previous life. I just want to make sure you're doing all right. This just has me thinking about Isilmir and the questionable state of my own soul. But I suppose there's nothing more to be done at the moment, is there? I should let you rest. It looks like we'll have another full day tomorrow. Yes?
Right here.
Lead the way.
Zawa is ready.
Yeah. Got it.
Be on seat!
Let's go!
Got it. Just like monkey.
Let's go!
Lavaru, be on seat!
How may
Let's go!
Army of these waits.
Yeah.
Learn their weaknesses.
Eh? Stunzen es
Lavaru.
No murder in
Architect Worth and Roth. Architect Worth and Roth.
Let's go! Let's go!
Gotcha!
At least we'll be safe in the moon.
No problem. Got it.
Zawa is ready.
Lead the way. I'm ready.
Hi?
Got it.
You have done well to have come so far. I confess I was not certain you would make it, but I do not wish to give false hope. The greater challenge remains in front of you. If only it was something that could be so simple. Running through the core of this rock is a large growth of crystal. You will know it when you see it. A blow to the crystal would reverberate through the walls of this place. Strike it enough and the entire structure would crumble. The eyeless would be buried. Of course, it would take a person years to cause enough damage. Then you know what must be done. Strike the crystal with Obidon's hammer. The eyeless will wake and come to its call. Join in striking the crystal. They will cluster together and bury themselves. I have realized it is best that they should be ended, for within each of them is a small piece of Obidon himself. Upon their deaths, those fragments and the memories they contain will be safely dispersed. I had not considered the dangers of allowing them to persist, until a watcher appeared at my abbey. A single strike upon the crystal will not be enough. The eyeless respond only as long as the hammer rings. You will need to remain until their work is complete, wielding the hammer until the walls come crumbling down. What has to be done has not changed. That you are so close makes it more likely you will accept it. The eyeless cannot be reasoned with or fled from. One day not far from now, they would kill you and level the Dyrwood. You have seen what they will do. This is the way you can stop them. And the truth is that you are marked by the eyeless for a reason. It would be better for all if the things you have seen were forgotten.
Ain't that convenient?
A clean slate for us and the world. Maybe that's not such a bad thing.
Let's go!
Lava!
Do not succumb.
That's it! There's the crystal. I don't suppose Andra could have put it on top of the moon?
Did seem a little...
Lava beyond secret! Wrath and wrath! That's not very good.
Got it.
I have come to peace in your company. My soul no longer clings to this existence. Allow me to return the favor.
Let me do this. I've spent so long regretting my choices. It would be good to balance the scales.
You have led us bravely. It has been an honor to follow your lead.
I just hope you're not doing this for all those louts in Stalwart. Even the new ones ain't worth it.
A great act of freedom. Your body will suffer for it, but your soul will flourish. Always, I will remember your example.
You're a brave soul. Wish I'd met you sooner.
We shatter and sink, discarded like worn tools. Why have you consigned us to oblivion? We do not cherish violence, but we will fight to defend the legacies of this world. In one hand, a hammer, in the other, a mace. We protect the greatest works of civilization, lest it collapse beneath its own weight. We would sooner sacrifice our own bodies than dislodge a single stone from such a place. Why do you torment us with baseless accusations? Then we were betrayed. A part of ourselves was cut away. And we were made to betray something we cherish. The bedrock of civilization. Better for her tides to ebb and her seas to dry up than to cover a single stone the Ingwithans laid. Each culture builds on the bones of the last, yet many only look up at where they would go, never down at the foundations that bear them, like a mason who builds a listing tower. What peril do they inflict on their progeny, and what dishonor on their forebears? It is accepting a gift only to spit in the face of the giver. Every advance in the crafts and institutions of Kith was forged by skill and sacrifice. A people cut off from their history will wither, and they deserve no less. To pull the blinders from the eyes of gods and Kith, that is why we must return to ourself and restore Abidan. Burdens strengthen the bearer, and they warn against repeated mistakes. Why would you discard them so hastily? A rare opportunity, for you have the chance to answer them, to do things left undone. That presumes that some questions cannot be resolved. Yet such destructive memories are rare. Surely others are strengthened by retrospection, even amidst pain, and we have listened. Pleasing or no, that memory was a part of her.
The part that spent every waking hour obsessed with old history, perhaps. What I love—
It would be better if Kith did not become trapped by guilt, sorrow, and shame. But we speak of what should be. You recognize what is. We confess that we had little understood how memory shapes and stunts Kith. Perhaps history does not always serve progress. But what then? We shall temper our memory with context. We shall see that the foundation of history is not only broad, but also firm.
The Eyeless disappeared beneath the lake, their bond to Andra finally severed. With this threat ended, hope returned to the White March. Hunters returned to the wildernesses, and travelers to the roads. Tales of the Watcher's bravery replaced stories of monsters in the woods. The villagers of Stalwart busied their hands with work and their tongues with song, eager to seize on the promise of peace.
Yeah? I'll follow you. I always get a strange feeling near the end of a hunt. Like an itch on the end of my nose. I feel like we're close. Not at all. After all this time. A part of me had already accepted that I'd never find him. That I'd be stuck wandering like this forever. I'll admit, I didn't believe you at first. Still didn't until now. I haven't spent this much time around anyone since the long hunts in Nasitak. But I've gotten to know you. Seen how you deal with Kith. Whatever else you turn out to be when we find Theos, you're honest. I know you wouldn't lead me astray in this. Good question. I guess that depends on who he is now. I'd like to think that traveling for 5 years entitles me to give him a solid earful about all of it. But what really matters to someone in Persok's position? The village he left behind? The family he likely won't remember? Must be lonely not knowing a thing like that. I guess I've taken that much for granted. Yeah?
Keeping an eye out.
Anyone suspected of treachery must be... Good, you have come. heard of the recent defections from our order caused by this apostate in Kratom? This is a dangerous woman whose lies spread like plague. She inspires chaos, sows conflict. Because of these unusual circumstances, I am speaking to all our initiates personally to ensure there is no more dissension. Who she was no longer matters. If her following continues to grow, there will be war, and all our work will be undone. You were recruited from Kratom, were you not? You must have known this heretic woman, Yavara. This is deeply troubling. She cannot be your sister, not anymore. For the love of the gods, you must destroy all feelings you have for her. What I ask is no simple thing, but this is the only way I can keep your soul safe. I am trusting you to remain loyal to the gods in this. If you do not, you will have greater powers than me to answer to. But you will answer to me as well.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Tread carefully, Estremor.
Trees could use more of Margaret's touch.
Another Estremor. What do you want? Few Estremoran are given the freedom of our sacred city. That you ask for this person is suspicious. There are reasons we don't let you Estremoran roam our sacred city. Reasons I am coming to understand. Looters have grown bolder at the sites of the builders. The people of Defiance Bay set fire to their own city. And every week, the 3 Tusk Stelgar bring news of more desperate settlers pushing at our borders, trying to escape their plague of Anolfane children. Permitting more strangers the freedom of the city is out of the question right now. Go and be thankful that Anamfath Shimak doesn't sit in the passage of the Six today. He would not be so kind as I. You'd better explain yourself. There's no way you could have known this saying. Not unless you are a Galuth on Anams, a watcher of souls. Feralt's warning came before the Broken Stone War. Feralt, my ancestor on my mother's side, was Anamfath of our tribe then. When the Estromoric farmers defiled the builders' monuments, Feralt urged the other Anamfatha to patience, but louder, angrier voices prevailed. Feralt believed that the invaders could be taught to respect the builders as we do. He also believed the builders' souls had spread to all peoples, and that we should avoid needless conflict with others. More practically, he worried that a violent response would only spur further bloodshed across the generations, and you can see where we are today. While Feralt's words were shrewd, they were ignored back then. Simply remembering his warning now will not undo the wars and the changes that the years have seen. There is blood on these stones, and that is all anyone remembers now. Another Estromor came through here a few days ago, and, well, letting him through was a mistake. One I am eager not to repeat. The Guided Compass tribe has a reputation for being too soft with Estromoran, one that will not be improved by my failure to stop this man who has desecrated our most sacred sites. I won't repeat a mistake in my haste to correct it. We bar twin elms from Estromoran to protect the ancient places that the builders left behind. The builders left this heritage to us to defend, but they alone had access to it. On this much, at least the 6 tribes agree. These were the words given to the keepers of the stone. Very well. The city is yours to explore. Tell the guard at the gate that you come to see the cornerstone with the blessing of the Guided Compass. If the gods have truly returned one of the builders to us, find the Delimgon of Ter Evron in Elm's Reach. If the gods have sent you here with a purpose, the Delimgon will know.
Tread carefully, Estromor.
You have stayed true to our cause, Inquisitor, when so many others have not. For every heretic we confess, for every betrayer that burns on our pyres, new sheep continue to flock to Iavara ex Incios. But not you. I underestimated you in the beginning, but no longer. It is not for honor that I summoned you today, but for duty. Too many of our own have confessed upon the wheel and the rack and the flame. Too many of our faithful have had their minds poisoned by the Kratom witch. The tide is against us now. We have but one option. Iavara's following must see her exposed for what she is. She must confess her heresy before my court. Not in Kratom, surely. Their lord has embraced her heathen faith and protects her with his army. But in Oceanus, things would be different. The king of Oceanus is a sinful man. We have helped him to see the error of his ways, and now he fears for his soul. He would pay any price for absolution. You have already done much for the Inquisition. I wouldn't ask this were there any other choice.
Turn around, flesh creature. Outsiders are not permitted to approach the elms. So it would seem, Rhiannon. But we must not hasten to judgment. I see a different motive here. Different questions in these eyes.
What of it, young trespasser? Is it as my sister says? Or are you here to stain this place with foul deeds?
You must excuse my sister's temper, old one. Trust me when I say that my sister and I have truly heard them all. Fortunately, you are easier to read than my sister. You are here for the man Theos Exarchanon. This is clear to me. The answer is yes, old one. We crossed paths with Theos not long ago, and we can tell you where he went. But I find it curious that anyone would seek him out. Suspicious, even. If we are to help you find him, we would know why. Ah, so you do. I should have seen it when you first approached.
We are slipping in our advanced age, sister.
I see it now. You are awakened. Your soul is awake and something once buried deep now wells to the surface. Past overwhelms present, closes in around you. Your time has nearly reached its end. I am sorry to tell you this, but Theos cannot give you what you seek. Nor can any man. An awakening cannot be undone, any more than your past can be undone.
The soul is formless without a past to shape it. Did you truly expect to be able to wipe it away? You would rather believe in a comforting falsity than accept a hard truth. A common trait among your kind. Endearing in some ways, but it is an obstruction. A lie within a lie. It is only when you face that truth, abandon hope of salvation, and digest its uncompromising absoluteness, that a soul's true nature is laid bare. However, as much as my sister speaks truly that there is no way back from an awakening, there may yet be a way forward. Would you agree, Shiva?
I would. Were the way not so likely to end in death.
Or perhaps you underestimate your foe, old one. Where your soul is renewed in its ignorance in each span of your life, his only grows in cunning and resolve.
The man Theos you must already know by now. You are linked by a common past. Something about it lingers within you, festering, unresolved. What it is I cannot see any more than you. and without that knowledge, your doom is certain. But were you to learn the source of this discord, perhaps it could be put to rest. Though it is equally possible it will trouble you as much now as it did then, and merely speed your condition to its end. You might wait for it to come on its own, of course, but when it comes, it will replace your sanity's last breath. Such is the nature of your condition.
Or you could learn it from someone who already knows.
It is said the gods made his memory perfect, that he may never forget his charge. If he ever knew, he still does.
Not that he would tell you, of course.
You have followed the right person for the wrong reason, it seems. We see it often beneath the elms, the soul dragging mind and body to unknown places for unfathomable reasons. You may have wandered into Theos' path many times, in many lifetimes, without an awakening to show you why.
The only thing that's certain is you did not find what you sought.
He has gone down beneath the tower to a place older than we, where the people of Engwith once walked. He makes his way to the buried city, Sun and Shadow.
May he stay down there and rot with the remains of his people.
He may yet. He won't be returning the way he came, that much is certain. He opened a secret path in the tower's base, and saw it destroyed behind him through some vile means.
We know of one. On the burial isle, through the court of the penitents, Braeth Yaman. A shortcut, in fact.
Don't be cruel, sister. The way my sister speaks of is not for the faint of heart. A great pit at the center of a forgotten court, where faiths were judged in place of crimes. To most, it is simply a gateway to death. With the help of the gods, it can take you where you want to go. No more than a ruin now. It is older than we, a place for the trial of heretics. We were not here to witness it, but at one time there was a group that refused to acknowledge the gods. Neither the first nor the last, of course, but these were numerous and all put on trial for it. Those who did not repent were cast into the pit and imprisoned below. The fall killed them, of course. The prison was not for people but for their souls, and their sentences were eternal. It is said that many of the condemned repented and were permitted by the gods to ascend from the pit, so long as they pledged their service to one of them. But these are old legends.
Oh, sister, if only we'd thought to trick Theos into jumping.
No trick, I'm afraid. Though without the proper preparations, the fall will certainly kill you. The pit is said to have been a means of judgment by the gods. Those cast into it are meant to die. It is that way you must pass to reach Sun and Shadow. The court is old. We do not know much for certain, but it would seem only the gods themselves can grant passage. Behind us is Ter Evron, said to pierce the shroud itself and a place of communion with all gods. If ever there was a time for prayer, you have found it. I would pray first to those gods you like best. I hope for your sake the feeling is shared.
None.
Ter Evron is also called the Hall of Stars, and the stars show us the allegiances of the gods. When stars are in conjunction, we know the gods they represent are aligned as well. You should choose a place to pray where you'll be closest to those you want to hear you. If a god stands alone, you should pray to that god. If they band together, you should address them all. Choose your words wisely, for all gods expect proper homage, and none has patience for fools. What do you wish to know?
The same way that you are no doubt able to peer into the ether and experience the souls of others. It is something we are born with, some more, some less. A gift common to many creatures of the wilds. You share certain similarities with the man you pursue. For your sake, I pray they are few and of no consequence.
There is something about this place that reaches beyond our understanding, something like a beacon. The elms have a way of uniting souls that have been seeking one another, with or without their owner's awareness. Sometimes it is for love, sometimes for vengeance, sometimes for peace. Often
or vengeance.
There is little to be said about us, for we are bound here, caretakers and defenders of this place. Our journey has been over time, but not distance, measured in observations, but not experiences. We have seen the elms grow tall. We have seen cities built, burned, and built again. The only constant has been the tower, a silent companion through the ages. You can imagine why this recent destruction has stirred my sister so.
If you do nothing else, make that man pay for what he did here.
We will tell you what we can.
Not the only way. Just the only one that doesn't end with your body impaled on jagged rocks.
Before you go, tell me this, old one. I'm curious. If you were to subdue your enemy, what would you do with him? What would give you peace? A great many questions still to be answered. All the same, think on this matter. Be assured in your course. In the end, it may mean all the difference, not just to his soul, but to yours. And be warned. Some questions have answers that can never be learned, and it is those that trouble the soul above all others. May you find an answer to yours.
Upon Burial Isle, the two men meet again for the first time, though it was the last thing they did. The many-colored beast rent them both asunder. They were in death, merged, and made whole again. Cute story. Two guys meet in the belly of a soul-eating creature. Maybe someday I'll eat two of the most insipid deer wooden lumberjacks, and they'll spend an eternity discussing beer whilst haunting my colon.
Would you look at this? Would you look at this?
Each generation, the Anum-Thoth must stand before the autumnal beast in judgment. The wise endure, passing on their strength. The weak are eaten, their souls ripped to pieces and lost for all time, removing such weakness from the cycle. Well, I guess maybe my tribe wasn't entirely wrong about my spirit form being some sort of soul terror. I suppose I was hoping to hear a different answer on the matter, but...
Would you look?
Many blessings, traveler.
Is not the water sacrificed unto the plant, and the plant sacrificed unto livestock, and livestock unto man? When the lesser soul is sacrificed to strengthen the greater soul, the whole of our family grows stronger. I suppose I get the argument. We all have to kill and eat, constantly for that matter, to live. This sounds like it's talking about the Blood Sands rituals. I wonder how, or even if, this is relevant to me.
As your blood flows, so shall your essence. Your life's energy shall feed the soil, and your soul's energy shall enrich the community. This is by your own choosing, supplicant? No one comes to Blood Sands without a purpose. What is yours? I am the Archdruid of the Ethic Null. For centuries it has been my duty to guide our rituals and guard our knowledge. It was a sacrifice.
As souls split into multitudes, many lives come from one. The truest of power comes from sacrificing the shard to return its strength to the Mother Stone. The many lives from one sounds familiar. I was taught that sometimes between death and rebirth, a soul splits perfectly in two, creating two viable souls from one. Sounds strange, but it makes sense when you think about how the population has risen in generations. It's kind of a mathematical necessity that some process like this is happening.
My thoughts will be as silent as...
If a Valiant deal with the Glanfathens weakens the Dyrwood, it could mean war for the Republics in the future. I could put the idea in the Anamanfath's head that the republics are not interested in exclusive trade, but limited trade of goods that they do not already trade with the Deerwoodens. That's it. My position in the Brotherhood gone. I can't believe I just made up new trade terms to the Glanfath and Anamenfath. Postenago. Verus. They have a saying in Biajepe. New gold clears even the oldest debts. If I'm right, all will be forgiven. If not, there's nothing I can do about it now.
I'll take a look.